Hey y'all! Welcome to the video today. My name is Ella. If you are new to my channel, thank you for joining me today on this encouraging word. So today's video is about struggling with sin. And so the first topic I want to discuss is if you are struggling, and with this is more addiction wise. If you're struggling to pick up those cigarettes that you already quit, or the heroin that you already quit, or the meth that you already quit, or the alcohol that you've already quit, the drugs, if you have quit and you are sober today, I want you to comment your sobriety date, and congratulations, you made it this far. And I know it's one day at a time, right? It's always one day at a time, but we also get those urges to pick it back up. And so today's video, I want to discuss those urges, and I also want you to look at it at a different perspective. Okay, so I get the urges as well. Being 1 year clean today, over a year clean, I still get those urges because it's around me and I can't get away from it. So outside, everybody does it, right? This world, everybody does it. So um, it's always around. And so we always have those urges, and then we also get those cravings, right? So I just want to talk to the person who has relapsed or is thinking about it. Okay? So the first one is if you have relapsed, right? So if you have relapsed and now you're struggling, because I know for me, if I pick it back up, I'm going to continue on with it. That's just me. I'm going to continue to use. Okay? But for others, you may have that willpower to say, no, I'm not going to, and that's cool too. You may say, no, that wasn't right for me. And we do learn from our mistakes, right? So the first one, with if you have relapsed and you're having a hard time being clean again, because the drug itself, it's a one-time thing. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says. Once I first picked up um, a cigar, I never let it down. Once I first picked up that marijuana, I never let it down. Once I first picked up that alcohol, I never let it down. Now, I might not have, was bad on alcohol, but I was. And the problem there is your mind is altered. So when I first was working with, when I first picked up the cigar, that was the first thing I went to, right? And then I chose the other drugs and the alcohol, or the first thing was the alcohol, and then it led to the cigars, and then it led to the marijuana, or whatever the case may be. I think it was the alcohol, then the marijuana, then the cigars, but either way, that's what it led to. And it continues being, because your body gets immune to it, and then you want a higher drug, and and it just gets worse and worse. So if you have relapsed, this is the thing. When you relapse and you believe in Jesus Christ, and what he says is cast all your cares onto him and he will sustain you. Now, when you cast the cares on him, you cast all those burdens, all that on him. You cast everything that you're going through onto him. He will sustain you. So, what the enemy wants you to believe is if you relapse, that's who you are, and that's your identity. Your identity is in those drugs, and that is not right. It is not true. Your identity is not found in those drugs. It's not even found in your house. It's not even found in um, what car you drive, it's not found in those. It's found in your heart, what you believe in. And when you believe in the Lord, He will allow your character to be more like His. And your character is what matters in this world. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. Like, what you do for the Lord, what you do for others, your morals, your respect, all of that. So your identity is not in those drugs. So that's a lie from the pit of hell. So when the enemy is in your mind, when you're doing those drugs, and he's just saying, "Oh, this is who you are. This is just who you are, and you'll never be any more than this." That's a lie from the pit of hell, and that's what the enemy wants you to believe. The enemy doesn't want you to believe that there's greater for you in Jesus. There's greater for your destiny. God has created you in His image, and He has way more for you on this life, in this earth. This isn't who you are. So you are loved by Jesus, no matter if you have relapsed. Find your way back to Him, find your focus, and get off of those drugs and allow yourself to find your true self. Okay? And I know it is boring sometimes. Yeah, we get called weird. We get called all these names. We get called boring, and we don't have friends because we're following Jesus, and Jesus is just imaginary friend. We get all of that. We understand that. But when you have an encounter with Jesus, when He saves you from those things, when you have been delivered from those things, you know who your Father is. You know that you couldn't have done that without Him. I could have never done any of that. I could not have let go of any of that without Him and without His help. So I'm here to tell you that there is freedom when you choose Jesus. There is freedom in all of those things that you have been doing. And also, you may feel lost and broken, and that's why you're turning to these drugs. But guess what? You don't have to do that anymore. Who you need to turn to is Jesus, and He will fill your heart with so much love. Nothing compares to the love that Jesus has for you. Those friends that are using those drugs with you don't care for you. They don't care 2 cents about you. What they care about is what you have to offer them. That's the gone down truth. So the second one that I have to talk about is if you feel like the need to relapse, okay? And this one is important for anyone that is feeling like they need to relapse and they are getting those urges. And let me tell you, it's temporary. It is temporary. And if you drink some water or you tell your mind, no, that's not who I am, and you speak to yourself, no, I was delivered by Jesus already. I no longer am a slave to those drugs. I am no longer a slave to the alcohol. I am no longer that person. And I don't know about you, but when I do pick up, if I was to pick up, not only am I picking up marijuana, but I'm also picking up all the rest of it. The pills, the getting love from a man, other men out there, all of it. And so relapse is important today too, because if you have been a year clean, I don't suggest anyone to relapse. And this is because what we had a year ago and what is out on the streets now today is not the same, guys. There is fentanyl mixed in with the weed, the pills, the Xanax, the Percocets, all of that. So, um, fentanyl can kill you. And so you pick that up and you think that your body can do what it used to do, and you'll be dead. And so this is a life and death kind of matter. So also with relapsing, uh, not only does it, you know, it could be life or death, but you could also just pick up the habit again. So I want to hope that this video encouraged you to look at your situation and understand that God loves you, and there is purpose in this pain, in this loneliness. If you're feeling lonely and that's why you want to pick up this, pick up um, the drugs and the alcohol, or um, if you want to use again, and this is the reason why you want to use, is because you're lonely, or you went through a, a trauma experience, or uh, any of those things, and you just feel like it was a comfortable situation. And I know it's a comfortable situation, and this makes it uncomfortable, right? But God has a purpose for all of us, children, all the daughters and the kings on earth, and our purpose is not found yet. So I understand too. If you haven't found your purpose, like me, I haven't found my purpose yet, but I hope that I inspire a community like you guys to understand that there is freedom once you get out. And when you receive that out, and once Jesus frees you from that, you shouldn't go back, because it's just, there's glory after this. God sees you, He loves you, and He knows what you're going through, and it's a process. Remember, there's no perfection, it's progress, and perfection is progress, and it's a process. So I hope this encourage you to stay sober. And so I also just want to say that I'm so proud of you, and to keep going. Even if you relapse, get back on the train and keep pushing forward one day at a time. Much love, and God bless you all. Bye.